In 2019, a team of scientists backed by the United States Department of Agriculture walked into major American furniture retailers and started testing the wood. What they found should have been a national scandal. 62% of the products on the shelves had fraudulent or misrepresented material claims. That dresser labeled solid wood? It was sawdust and glue with a printed veneer designed to look like real grain. Why is your $2,000 couch engineered to collapse within 6 years? And why does no federal law force manufacturers to disclose what is inside your furniture? We are going to expose the material fraud destroying this industry and show you the 3 types of furniture you should actually buy with your money. If you have walked into a furniture showroom recently, you might believe you are looking at a wide selection of trusted American brands. You see names like Broyhill and Thomasville and Henryden, names that sound like they have been around for 100 years. You assume these are rival companies with different factories competing to build a better product for your home. That is an illusion. Most of these names no longer exist as real manufacturers. They are ghost brands, intellectual property owned by holding companies and licensing firms that slap a famous name onto the cheapest imported product they can find. The American furniture industry has been hollowed out over the last 25 years, and the result is a $200 billion marketplace where nearly 70% of the wooden furniture sold in the United States is manufactured overseas, primarily in China and Vietnam. When you walk into that showroom and sit on a couch, you are not evaluating competing visions of craftsmanship. You are choosing between different labels on functionally identical products built in the same overseas factories using the same cheap materials. The same USDA-backed researchers who uncovered that 62% fraud rate found that the United States does not even have enough forensic wood scientists to investigate the scale of deception. The real question is not which brand to trust. It is whether anything in that showroom is built to survive a decade in your living room. And the answer is going to make you furious. The destruction of American furniture quality did not happen overnight. It happened in 3 waves, and understanding those waves is the only way to protect yourself. The first wave was consolidation. In the 1980s, Wall Street discovered the furniture industry. Conglomerates like Interco and Masco Corporation started buying up heritage brands across North Carolina, the furniture capital of the world. At its peak in 1990, North Carolina alone employed 90,000 furniture workers across 2,500 manufacturers. These were real companies with real factories staffed by craftsmen who had been building furniture for generations. The conglomerates promised efficiency and growth. They delivered bankruptcy. Interco filed for Chapter 11 in 1991. Then came the second wave. China joined the World Trade Organization in December of 2001, and the floodgates opened. Chinese furniture imports to the United States increased 1,156% between 1991 and 2007. More than 300 wood furniture plants in the American Southeast closed their doors forever. The Richmond Federal Reserve documented a devastating irony. The influx of Chinese imports had not been initiated by Chinese industrialists. It had been started by the North Carolina industry's own leaders, who invited Chinese manufacturers to tour their plants and even videotape their production processes. They handed their competitors the blueprints. Peak employment in American furniture manufacturing was roughly 630,000 jobs around the year 2000. Today, that number is approximately 330,000. Nearly half the industry vanished in a single generation, but the third wave was the most devastating of all, and it is the one nobody talks about. Private equity delivered the killing blow. In 2013, Furniture Brands International, once the largest furniture manufacturer in the United States at $2.2 billion in annual sales, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. A private equity firm called KPS Capital Partners swooped in and bought the crown jewels for just $280 million. That gave them Broyhill, Thomasville, Drexel Heritage, Henryden, Lane, and Hickory Chair, 6 of the most famous names in American furniture history. They formed a company called Heritage Home Group and immediately started closing factories. The Thomasville plant in North Carolina, 84 jobs gone. The Saltillo, Mississippi operation, 480 jobs gone. The last Drexel Heritage plant in Morganton, 87 jobs gone. Then Heritage Home Group itself filed for bankruptcy in 2018. and all 6 legendary brand names were sold to a licensing company called Authentic Brands Group for a combined $38.5 million. To put that in perspective, that is less than the price of a single luxury apartment in Manhattan. What happened next to Broyhill tells you everything you need to know about this business model. Broyhill, founded in the 1920s in Lenoir, North Carolina, once possibly the biggest single-brand furniture supplier in the country, had its name sold to Big Lots, a discount retail chain. The actual manufacturing was contracted to United Furniture Industries, which in November of 2022 abruptly ceased all operations and terminated 2,700 workers via midnight email the night before Thanksgiving. Big Lots itself later went bankrupt. A brand that once represented generational American craftsmanship became a label on imported discount goods, and then it essentially ceased to exist. But the brand destruction is only half the problem. What they replaced the quality with is far worse. Pick up a piece of modern furniture and knock on it. If it sounds hollow, you are hearing particle board, which is literally sawdust and glue pressed together under heat. That is what your $2,000 dresser is made of. Solid hardwoods like oak and walnut cost $6 to $25 per board foot. Particle board costs pennies, but the lifespan difference is staggering. Low-quality particle board furniture can fail in as little as 1 year. It cannot be sanded or refinished. Once the laminate chips or the board swells from moisture, it is garbage. Now here is the part that should genuinely alarm you. The glue holding that particle board together is urea formaldehyde resin. In 2011, the federal government classified formaldehyde as a known human carcinogen. Particle board can continue releasing formaldehyde gas into your home for up to 10 years. The deception runs deeper than the materials. There is no specific federal law requiring furniture manufacturers to disclose what their products are actually made of. Companies can legally call a dresser solid wood construction if the hidden frame is solid wood, even when every visible surface is particle board covered in a printed laminate. They have even rebranded particle board as furniture board to make it sound more legitimate. The situation with upholstered furniture is just as bad. Your grandmother's couch almost certainly had 8-way hand-tied springs, where a craftsman individually tied each coil in 8 directions using heavy twine. That construction lasts 40 years or more. Today, most sofas use sinuous wire springs or polypropylene webbing straps that experts warn are known for sagging faster than any other suspension option. The foam inside your cushions tells the same story. The industry average foam density is just 1.8 pounds per cubic foot, which starts visibly sagging within 3 to 5 years, while quality foam at 2.5 pounds or higher lasts 12 to 15 years. But that higher density foam costs 20 to 40% more, so it almost never appears below the $2,500 price point. The result is that the average American sofa is now just 6 years old. In the 1970s and 80s, a mid-range couch lasted 20 to 30 years, and every one of those disposable sofas ends up in the same place, 12.1 million tons. That is how much furniture Americans send to landfills every single year. 80% of discarded furniture is landfilled. Less than 1% is recycled. Since 1960, furniture waste has grown 450%, far outpacing population growth. And here is the cruel math that the industry does not want you to understand. A household replacing a $500 sofa every 4 years spends $2,500 over 2 decades, plus disposal costs and wasted time. A $3,000 quality sofa lasting 20 years costs less in total, and at the end it can be reupholstered for another 2 decades or resold to someone who will actually want it. Consumer satisfaction data proves people are catching on. An analysis of over 76,000 reviews across the 6 largest furniture brands found that positive ratings collapsed from 79% in 2011 to just 9% by 2022. The West Elm Peggy couch became the defining symbol of this crisis. In 2017, customers reported that their $1,199 Peggy sofa began disintegrating within months, with buttons popping off, cushions sliding forward, and structural collapse. West Elm's repair kit was so back-ordered it took months to arrive, and it contained a wooden dowel, 2 buttons, and directions that did not make sense. A former employee confirmed to reporters that the company prioritized trendy design over build quality. West Elm pulled the couch and offered refunds, but the Peggy was not an outlier. It was the inevitable result of an industry that has replaced quality with cost-cutting at every level. So if the entire market is rigged against you, does that mean you should give up on owning furniture that lasts? Number. It means you have to stop shopping like a consumer and start thinking like an inspector. The first option is to buy from the few remaining American craftsmen who refuse to cut corners. Amish furniture makers in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, Holmes County, Ohio, and Shipshewana, Indiana, are still building pieces the way furniture was meant to be built. They use solid kiln-dried hardwoods, traditional joinery like mortise and tenon and dovetail joints, and multi-step hand-applied finishes. Every piece is customizable and designed to be handed down to your grandchildren. Companies like Stickley in upstate New York have maintained their standards for over 125 years, with 90% of production handcrafted in the United States. Vermont Wood Studios partners with over 40 local woodworkers using sustainably sourced domestic hardwoods and offers a lifetime guarantee. Benchmade Modern in California builds custom sofas with a free lifetime warranty. These pieces cost more upfront, typically $2,000 to $5,000 for a sofa, but they cost less per year of use than any disposable alternative. The second option is the best-kept secret in home furnishing: buy vintage. Quality furniture from the golden age of American manufacturing, the 1950s through the 1990s, was built with solid hardwood frames, hand-tied spring systems, and proper joinery. A mid-century Henredon dresser that sold for $3,000 new might cost $400 at an estate sale, and it will outlast anything you can buy at a showroom today because it was manufactured when these companies actually owned their own factories and employed their own craftsmen. A 1970s Ethan Allen dining table or a Lane cedar chest from the 1960s are built from real wood that has already proven it can survive 5 decades of daily use. Platforms like Cherish, First Dibs, Habitat Restore, Locations, and local estate sales are full of these pieces. The irony is devastating. The same brand names that are now worthless labels on imported particle board once built the finest furniture in the world. And the proof is sitting in thrift stores and estate sales priced at a fraction of what their modern imposters cost. The third option is to learn the 5-second quality test so you never get fooled again. Lift one corner of a sofa off the ground. The frame should be completely rigid with no creaking or flexing. If it wobbles, walk away. Check the weight by pushing the piece across the floor. Solid wood is substantially heavier than particle board, and you will feel the difference immediately. Open drawers and look for dovetail joints, the interlocking trapezoidal cuts that look like puzzle pieces. If you see staples, visible glue, or cam lock hardware, you are looking at disposable construction. Remove the seat cushions and press the deck. You should feel individual springs underneath, and always smell the piece. A strong chemical odor means formaldehyde off-gassing from cheap composite materials. If a salesperson cannot tell you the foam density, the frame material, or the spring type, that silence is your answer. The era of widespread quality in American furniture is over. The big brands are banking on you not noticing the sawdust inside your dresser because they covered it with a convincing photograph of walnut. They are counting on you to be distracted by the Instagram styling and the interest-free financing, so you never ask what is really inside the frame. But now you know. 62% of the labels are lying. Your sofa is designed to last 6 years. 12 million tons of furniture hits the landfill every year because of it. Do not let a licensing company with a famous name take your money for a product engineered to fail. Check the joints, check the materials, and never underestimate the value of a dresser your grandmother could have owned. If you found this eye-opening, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next investigation.